So, before this video starts, I'm just giving you a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen any of the James Bond movies with Daniel Craig, then I suggest you don't watch this video. Or if you've only watched a few, I have timestamps in the description. Anyway, you've been warned. So, today I am ranking all of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. That's right, before making this video, I had never actually seen a Bond movie before, which made Daniel Craig look really weird to me, because in my head, he's not James Bond, he's Benoit Blanc from Knives Out. So every now and then, I was half expecting him to start solving murders with a southern accent. Anyway, let's get through them in release order and then rank them at the end. Casino Royale. First up, Casino Royale. Straight away, I liked how different this Bond felt. He's younger, cockier, and honestly has a massive ass ego. What's crazy is this movie came out all the way back in 2006 and it still holds up incredibly well, nearly 12 years later. I loved the little bait and switch with the bomb where Bond sticks it on the guy's backside. That genuinely made me laugh. Also, one of my notes for this movie literally just says Eva Green, and honestly, fair enough, Vesper Lynd is probably one of the strongest Bond girls in these films. I really enjoyed the poker side of the movie too. I'm always a sucker for poker scenes in movies and TV shows, and the tension around those games was just brilliant for me. The film had a great balance between action and emotion. It wasn't just explosions every 5 minutes. Although I will say I was slightly confused by the betrayals. First I thought Mattis had betrayed Bond, then it turns out he actually didn't. Then it was Vesper. It felt a little forced at times, but overall I loved the movie. And that ending, the name's Bond, James Bond. Absolute chills. Next up, Quantum of Solace. This movie was made during the writer's strike, and unfortunately, yeah, you can tell. Honestly, I'm just glad this film didn't kill the franchise, because things definitely did improve afterwards. One thing I did like was seeing Mattis return. I thought it was nice that Bond actually had a proper companion instead of immediately introducing another love interest. And then they killed off Mattis. -5 points immediately. I also found myself getting bored in parts of the film. The editing is all over the place and some of the action scenes felt like they're fighting against the camera. And I couldn't help notice a pattern to start to form. Like, Bond meets woman, Bond sleeps with woman, woman dies, Bond gets angry, Bond solves crime, repeat. Overall, not terrible, but definitely my least favourite of the bunch. Skyfall. Now we're talking. Okay, Skyfall opens with an absolutely incredible first 30 minutes. The build-up and pacing had me hooked immediately. I also really liked seeing Bond struggling physically, instead of being this unstoppable superhuman. You know, he's slower, he's older, and he's dealing with the fact that maybe he's not the man he used to be. And of course, the Adele theme. Absolute banger. When the sky falls. And can we talk about Silver? Fantastic villain. You know, his motivations actually make sense. The system created him, abandoned him, and now he's back to burn everything down. That's way more interesting than evil guy wants world domination for many reasons, whatever. The ending was surprisingly emotional too. My only criticism is that some of the Bond vs Silver encounters did start to feel a bit repetitive, but overall this was a very strong movie. Then we have Spectre. First things first, that opening sequence is iconic. The setting, the rooftop chase, the one-shot camera work, absolutely brilliant. Also, Batista as Mr. Hinks is an absolute fucking unit, mate. At this point, I was also really starting to like Q more and more. He's become one of my favourite supporting characters. The Austria snow scenes looked gorgeous and gave the movie a different feel compared to the others. However, I found myself getting a bit bored during the train section, especially before the big fight. And once again, Bond proves that if there is a female lead within a 3-mile radius, he's contractually obligated to flirt with her. I also really liked the new M. He's slowly turning into an absolute badass. And thankfully, Madeline survives all the chaos and gets her happy ending with James Bond. At least, well, for now. finally, No Time to Die. And wow, for me, this had the best opening sequence out of all of the 5 movies. The way Vesper's memory still haunts Bond years later was really, really well done. Then Ana de Armas, I can't say her fucking name, she shows up, right? Completely steals every scene she's in and somehow becomes one of my favourite characters despite only being around for 10 fucking minutes. That triple kill sequence when she's on the floor going bang bang bang, that was just insane. And then Felix, man, that one hurt. It was like the only friend Bond really kind of had in this spy game. Obviously you got others, but that one was, yeah. And seeing Rami Malek appear after only knowing him as Mr. Robot felt really strange. You know, also, can someone explain why every woman in Bond's life either betrays him, dies, or both? The poor guy just needs therapy at this point. But honestly, that was a fantastic movie. It felt like the perfect send-off for Daniel Craig's Bond. And yes, that ending just peak, mate. That was actually just perfect. Alright, so after watching all 5 movies for the first time, here is the ranking. Don't slice my throat open just yet, please. You know, it's my opinion, remember? So after watching all 5 movies for the first time, number 5, Quantum of Solace, I give it a 6 out of 10. Are you surprised? No. Not awful, but definitely the weakest entry for me. Number 4, I have put Spectre. 7 out of 10 I gave it. Good moments, great visuals, but it kind of dragged in different places. And in number 3, the fucking controversial one, Skyfall, I have given it 8 out of 10. I know some people would rank this number 1, but for me, it's just 3rd. The ranking from 1 to 3 for me is minimal. It's literally margins. It's still a fantastic movie though. Number 2, No Time to Die. 9 out of 10. That's what I had to give it. An emotional, satisfying conclusion to Craig's character and era. And number 1, Casino Royale. 9 out of 10 again. This one just edges it. Great action, great characters, great tension, and one of the strongest introductions to a character I've seen. So yeah, that's my ranking of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. Remember, this is coming from someone who had never watched a Bond movie before, and I've just committed some kind of Bond fan war crime. Feel free to let me know. I know you will, so don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, what you think the video's worth, and peace out. Boom, boom.